I haven't stopped doing these videos, and I had that, and I think I'm actually getting better at these. To be honest, first of all, hold on. I don't want to lose the topic I had. Okay, the topic was okay. I won't lose it. Yeah, I won't lose it. Okay, here's the thing. What was I going on about? Yeah, so I do believe that I'm getting better at this because since I started doing, no, that wasn't what I was saying was that I don't prepare number one, right? I don't prepare these videos. I a concept comes into my head. Literally, it could be fun, and then I just press click and I start talking about it. There's no preparation, and 95% or 90 to 95% of the time, I don't review the videos at all. And if I do, it's only just for like 2 minutes or 3 minutes. Usually, at most, like almost all the content I don't review. The concept I had right now, I felt like I'm getting better at this because the concept is a really good one. I hope I don't get so good that eventually I just gotta pull my shit off YouTube. But anyways, for the time being, it's here. And a topic that's very interesting is being self-taught versus being taught by any kind of external. You don't have to be taught necessarily by somebody directly, but if you're learning from somebody or whatnot, that you have two dimensions, right? You're being taught here, and then you're also self-taught. Now, this has a lot of again. I can't talk a whole lot about it because it's too much content. But basically, one concept is, for example, you have in the trades, for example, in the culinary world, you have chefs that are self-taught, and then you have chefs that are taught who actually went to culinary school. I've actually seen people brag about being going to Le Cordon Bleu. Don't tell anyone you went to Le Cordon Bleu, right? It might actually help you get a job, yeah, or whatever, but it's better to go to an actual accredited college for culinary. I'm not saying you got to go to Switzerland for the best, but if you were to go to Switzerland or France or whatnot, French cuisine is supposed to be one of the most. I'm not talking about my personal opinion. It's considered to be one of the top class, and not even class. It's got something to it. I don't know what it is. It just seems so professional. They always push French cuisine in any culinary program. French bakery, French cooking, because I don't know what it is. Maybe they just sound very sophisticated. So, or maybe their food is just genuinely very good. I don't know. Anyways, I'm not saying you have to go to the best school in France or Switzerland. However, if you did go to one of those best schools, you're gonna be like doing really well. I mean, if you can handle all that and you can do a good job and get good grades or get good test results, I mean, guaranteed you'll have a very promising career, or even as a business person. But anyways, so in chef they are self-taught, and there are ones that are taught either by a school or for example they apprentice under a very good head chef. You apprentice under a very good head chef, you can learn from them. Okay, so here's two concepts, right? Self-taught and then actually, you know what, the truth is, if everybody in this world was self-taught, 99% of this world would be worse off and 1% would be better off. I'll tell you what. So every now and then when it comes to any kind of topic, you get one person who's self-taught and goes through a lot of like a lot of experiences, right? And they're very unique, they're special, they're one of the few who has actually done all this stuff. And then someone will tell them, hey, look, you don't need the money, you have money. But listen, we're not going to give you money. We're going to give you prestige. We're going to give you a PhD at our university, and you can teach just one day a week. Please do one lecture a week at our university. And they get so happy. People are already trying to enroll. They're trying to give people expectations. You got to have this kind of grade to take this course. And now you got 100 people sitting there, and some of them aren't even students. Some of them don't even go to the university. They're just there to watch this guy. Right now, he blew up, but 99% of the world will not succeed in being. I mean, it's just true. When you're taught by somebody, it's typically somebody who has more experience within that field, and it should be older, but it's somebody who has experience in that field, and then they'll teach you. Now, you can have a combination too. You can do both, right? Like I did both most of my life. If I ever learned something from somebody, I always had I always go back to myself and go, what else, what can I learn on my own when it comes to this, and what can I do on my own, to the point that, I mean, I robbed the bank, and then I had all this time, where I didn't go anywhere for so many years, and then I finally was able to take a course at a real accredited college, and I did do a culinary for 4 months, and then I took a course. I took like 2 or 3 business courses, general business courses, and I did I passed. I think only passed 2 courses in the business, and I passed almost all the courses in culinary. I left a half term, which is divided, where one credit is divided to point 0.5 credits, and I didn't do the second point 0.5, the second half, for that particular course, but I did all the rest. Now, okay, having done that, so that's done, right? But the thing is, you always go back on your own. You know what I mean? You always go back on your own. Or I shouldn't say you. I always go back on my own. So I'll go back and I'm like, okay, what can I learn in this? What can I do that? And honestly, like until I was put in the most extreme, like being in a facility all the time, I was left to my own devices and my own thoughts, and it pushed me. I mean, I've never been pushed so much in my life, and it was only possible through a bit of solitude. Really, the solitude did actually push me to get better. No, I don't like it, nothing, and hopefully I'd love to just fucking be done. But the thing is, and I think it helps you to a certain extent, solitude, but then, too much of it can be detrimental or just useless. But at some point, it was a unique experience to be active all the time, to be doing this and that activity here and there, to finally get some of that and push. But yeah, in some ways I am self-taught, and I've taught myself to do things that some people have never even thought was possible, or like, what is this? Like, did you really find a way to do this software, for example, or whatever? Anyways, aside from that, right? Again, we're back to self-taught and learning from somebody, or apprenticing, right? Now, in my opinion, no, I'm not 100% self-taught. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is that, it's good to do both. It's good to do both. Now, typically, in my opinion, any accredited school is good. And the reason is that you start off, and the way it's supposed to start off is everybody's a beginner, okay? If you're advanced, you start off in the advanced course, right? If you're advanced in one area, they'll push you along. Now, typically, you want to have everybody the same level starting off, right? And somebody teaching, or 2 teachers, okay? Now, everybody in that class learns off each other too. There's group assignments, group works, group presentations, and people learn from each other, and people progress differently. They do little games and competitions and tests. Everybody does differently on it. People have different strengths and whatnot, right? So, I mean, that's what I mean. I remember when I failed 10th grade academic math. I remember when the math course started. And the first day I went in and I sat there and I looked at the teacher, and the teacher was very old. It was like in his 60s. Now, granted, I did qualify him in my head. I went, this guy is definitely very good in all this math. 100% he is. But I looked at him and I looked at him and I said, man, I don't want to be him, man. I don't want to grow up and turn into something like that, man. I had a bad feeling about university. I mean, I didn't even think about university until I was in high school and they were pushing it on us. And I was like, man, this is going to be, it's like, dude, I don't want to turn into this guy. You know what I mean? And I kept thinking, I don't want to turn into this guy. After like about 3 or 4 days, he goes, can I talk to you outside? I said, sure. He comes outside and he says, listen, man, drop the whole academic thing. Take an applied course. You don't even have to pay attention. You'll pass it. He goes, this course, you're going to fail. But the applied course, you don't even have to, and he was right. Okay, I didn't listen to him. I failed the course. I took it, I failed it. Then I took applied in my following year, and sure enough, I didn't pay attention to anything, and I got like 90s on all my tests because I already knew the content that they were covering in 10th applied. He was right. Right, and I was right too, because I didn't want to turn into that guy. Funny thing is, so I took I took a course at this accredited college, a general business course. And he was an older man professor who actually had real business experience. I forgot what is it. He was accomplished. Okay, typically in Canadian accredited schools, they try to get professors or chefs or anything They try to get people who are actually very good because those jobs are in high demand. They pay well and they're in high demand. So you don't get just like, you get very good teachers. So I had this teacher, he was an older man, maybe in his 60s. I think he was retired and he wanted to do this. So retired professors do make good professors. Anyways, the first thing he said when we started was he said, he was kind of looking around and he starts talking and he strays away from he had a sheet and on the projector and he strays away from it, or on his laptop. He had a presentation and he strays away from it. He goes, you know what? I've never thought of joining a biker gang. That's really what he says. I've never thought of joining a biker gang. It's high risk and low reward. I mean, it's not a promising career at all, which was very weird because he was talking about business and he just went into that. He said that and then he went back into his presentation, and I thought it was very funny. But yeah. Anyway, so that was a funny thing, and this kind of pertains to what we're talking about. But that's typically what it is. You all start off at the same level. Everybody does differently, and that kind of helps in the learning process, right? And then at some point when you're actually working and it's practical, you gotta use your noggin and you gotta use what you know, and that should help you along. But that's pretty much the difference between self-taught and being taught by somebody. But again, that's a good experience. Either way, I do believe in accredited colleges and universities. I mean, it's not a bad idea at any time to take a course that you're interested in anything. And it's good to even finish your degree or whatever. I personally, I don't have a degree per se, and not that I won't ever have a degree, but I'm not really I don't really look at it that much in my life. Moving on. What else is there? The topic came. I thought it was an excellent topic because before I had I started off with kind of immature ideas, and that's normal because I just started making videos, and already I'm like, without reviewing the videos or preparing, I'm finding my concepts are really well, really they're getting better. And my talk is getting better. It's almost like, goddamn, it's gonna get so good that YouTube is gonna tell me, hey buddy, take a hike. Which would be a good thing. Cause anyways, so how to wrap this up? Self-taught and yeah. I don't know, man. But here's the thing, right? So there was a concept, a guidance, okay, so there's a big thing. It's an old wives' tale, but it's supposed to be accurate. Many mothers, they will tell their children, be yourself. That's advice they always give. Be yourself, right? There's a song by, anyways. So they say be yourself. That's the best thing. We're all different. That's why I don't knock people. I mean, unless you're doing stupid shit, like retarded shit. But even people in different. I mean, I don't. Anyways, so self. Let me clarify though. Self-taught versus learning from something else. I mean, I think I used a combination, but it was predominantly self-taught. But the combination is good. I find it good to hear something in the courses and stuff. Anyways, how do I conclude this? I just want to conclude this by saying that just try to find your groove and your level, and you should be good. Remember, magazines are not meant for everybody. When I was a kid in middle school, they started discouraging magazines. Now, because we were boys and girls in the same class, this was more for girls, but it pertained to boys too. You get these magazines, and this has been going on for decades, right? These magazines show you men and women, young men, older men and women, and they're in phenomenal shape and everything, and they look great and blah, blah, blah. Now, people who are obese or too thin or whatever, they feel less, their self-esteem goes down when they look at these magazines because they're not realistic. Not every woman is shaped like models, It's not realistic. So it kind of hurts people's self-esteem. So you don't want to Don't shoot for something just because it's in a magazine. Listen, if you like eating food and you like being healthy and just a little overweight, there's nothing wrong with it. You don't have to be look like everything you see. Oh, I gotta have a tree house just like this. No, just because you saw it in a magazine doesn't mean you just see it. So good luck on all your stuff. I gotta wrap it up because I'm running out of time.